Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Witch Queen Season of Plunder intel. And this week's Grandmaster Nightfall is the LIGHTBLADE strike. Sort of an interesting one, as the boss has some specific mechanics that make it kind of easy to cheese them, but there are some other parts of this particular strike that I think are actually a lot harder than the boss room. So we're going to be covering all of those, as well as an out-of-bounds glitch that might help with speedruns, but only speedruns specifically. Full disclosure, a lot of these clips that I'm going to be showing you today are not in the Grandmaster Nightfall, as I just wanted to show you where these glitches were so that you can utilize them as you see best. Know that they all do work in all difficulties. This week's Nightfall loot is the Mindbender's Ambition, which is a really good shotgun. Glad to see it brought back to the game. It's solar shotgun, and it can roll with some pretty cool new perks. The God Roll PvE would probably be Barrel Shroud, Assault Mag, Lead from Gold, or Auto-Loading Reholster with 1-2 Punch, or you can get it with Incandescent now. So remember, you can get the Adept version of this if you do complete this strike on Grandmaster, but even farming this at the lower level difficulties is probably good this week because it is a really good weapon, and like I said, it's being brought back to the game with a whole bunch of new perks that probably play well into the current meta and the rework of things like Solar 3.0. So the first glitch that I did want to cover, if you kind of saw it at the beginning here, is the out of bounds glitch. Now this one, I'm going to say I don't see it really working that well for the Grandmaster, but if you're just trying to farm out the strike at a lower level difficulty for the loot or maybe the mats, I could see this maybe being beneficial for some speedruns, as it does let you kind of skip a whole section and get further in without having to use a revive as you get adjoining allies, but your allies will have to progress that room, which is why I don't think it would really be viable for Grandmasters, just because it's going to be too difficult. And if you are doing this with a group, most likely you're going to need everybody or want everybody in that room, unless you're somebody who is a solo player and you're used to soloing a Grandmaster, and maybe you're just doing this with some buddies. Maybe leaving your buddies in that room and jumping ahead isn't the worst idea. But like I said, you can see how it works for you. The one real thing about this that I do think is kind of cool is you do get adjoining allies versus just dying and having to have your teammates revive you. So even at the Grandmaster difficulty, you wouldn't have to waste a life. So that could be beneficial later on. Now, the next glitch that I really want to talk about is for this section. I like to call it the trees section. It's really just where you're way out in the open. You get the darkness debuff, which slows you, and you can die to the fireflies. I like to call them the fireflies. But if you're able to stay high enough on the map, actually on top of these trees, you will not get the weight of darkness debuff. So you can actually get through this whole section, and then once one person on your team is through, the other two will no longer have weight of darkness. So as soon as one person completes this area, the other two can just run through easily. Now, a warlock is probably going to be the thing you want unless you're proficient at sword flying with a titan. There are other sword flying techniques that you can do on all classes that really give you a big boost that you can kind of push through some of these areas a lot faster than you see me doing here. But for most people, I think this is going to be the go-to strategy if you want to attempt this. Use a warlock that has heat rising equipped and just make your way through. Stay on top of the trees and sort of follow that rock cliff around to the right, as you'll see me going here. Then once you get through the portal, the weight of darkness will disappear. As you can see at the end of this video, I actually kind of miss the actual portal. I just sort of come around to the right of it. It doesn't really matter. Once you get to this point, it should be gone, and your teammates can run through. Another strategy I've seen used for this section is by actually bringing your sparrow with you. Now, you can spawn your sparrow at the very, very beginning of this strike. You actually have to de-zone from the strike, but it is possible. And then you can just bring your sparrow with you through the entire strike. But it's a little bit complicated. You have to be proficient with your sparrow and knowing how to navigate it. Of course, sparrows don't despawn now, so if it doesn't get blown up, you can use it for that one particular spot. But know that you do have to keep the sparrow moving when you are on those floating platforms. So, like I said, be good with the sparrow if you want to attempt that, but it is possible. I prefer this method. Now, for the actual boss room. This is a roaming boss, which is different than other bosses where you may have phases that you have to sort of fight them through in order to get a group of adds to spawn, and then you can continue fighting the boss once they're damageable again. This one just kind of moves around the map, and you can damage him most times. He does have some phases, but between phases, it's not that difficult to actually just do a lot of damage to the boss, because of the way that he moves. Now, when they're not moving, that's when they can do damage, this particular boss. When they are moving, they really can't do anything. So as long as you're able to keep the boss moving, he's pretty much just cannon fodder. Now, you can use stasis to actually freeze the boss in spots, but what I like to do is just make sure you have somebody moving from one of the sides of the circles back to the middle plate. Just jump back and forth, up and down like you see me doing there, and the boss will just follow you. Once they jump up onto the plate again, go back and move to the other side. They'll jump down to the bottom and then jump back up to the top. You can shoot them this whole time. Another thing that I've kind of found works interestingly is if you don't do any direct damage to the boss, you can actually keep them stationary. So as you can see in this clip, I'm hiding up on the top side of the back circle, the circle that surrounds the room. The adds don't see me here, and the boss doesn't really see me unless he moves forward into this corner. But if he doesn't, I'm pretty much out of danger. So I've found that if you just do indirect damage, for say, bouncing a grenade off of a wall and then having it hit the boss just doesn't move, just stays there. So you might consider, if you are doing this solo, or if you're doing this in a group, maybe having one player on a ledge like this, keeping the boss stationary, and then just freezing them over and over with stasis. And the boss just might literally sit on the ledge for the entire damage phase. I think Wither Horde would really do real well if you were using it in that particular situation, but you'll have to see, like I said, what works best for you. But fortunately, this is a very easy boss to actually beat. This is the section I think is probably going to give most people the most trouble. But hopefully something in this video you found helpful, as that's going to conclude all the information today. Thanks so much for watching, as always. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell, the post notifications, so you never miss out on any Destiny 2 Witch Queen Season of Plunder, future content like this. Any of those things I just mentioned also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel, and I do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. I usually do a DLC or seasonal pass giveaway, so I'm sure most people are looking forward to LIGHTBLADE. If you don't have that, well, that'll be the giveaway. Can also, if you've made it this far in the video, leave a hashtag LIGHTBLADE in the comments section down below. That'll give you another entry into the next future giveaway for this video. And remember, I do a hashtag at the end of every video, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course, do it again. And as always, and once more, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Of course, we will see you next time. Little